Hey guys, hey, just a quick update. So like I said in my first video, the some of the things I do in the winter time, I can't do a whole lot outside, so I do some planning and stuff. And so I'm gonna give you a little show. I have a little screened in porch here. It's actually plastic on the sides here to try to kind of maintain the temperature. It actually stays about 8 to 10 degrees warmer in here than it does outside, just with plastic on the screened in porch, and I try to supplement that with solar heating. But some of the things I'm doing, check this out. I just got this seed container. This was a Christmas present. This is actually like a plastic briefcase, and these are actually, it's a photo storage box. These are actually for photos, for storing 4x6 photos, I guess, or 5x7. I'm not sure how big these are. But instead of photos, I'm storing seeds. So I got envelopes. So these envelopes are good for storing. I can actually, when I collect my own seeds, I can put them in these envelopes, and I can put them in my boxes here. So like I've got melon seeds here, so different seed packets already in there. I've ordered my seeds already for 2023's growing season, so I'll add to, these are just some seeds I had left over from last year that I will continue to plant out. The stuff that I don't have, I ordered some extras so I can fill this up. But this is kind of what I do. You can see my seed starting and some other things going on here. I do have some plants that I'm growing over here. These plants here. This is sage that I pulled out of the garden, and it will continue to grow in the pots, and then I'll probably put it back out there later in the spring. These are some garlic. This is some garlic that it came up from seed. In the area I had garlic growing. Some of it went to seed, and then it restarted by itself. So I dug it up, put it in a pot for the winter, and I'm going to stick it back out there in the spring. Hopefully it'll survive. I did put a lot of it out in a raised bed out there. It's my bathtub raised bed. I reused an old bathtub to make a raised bed out of. Now, just a tip, if you do that, drill a bunch of holes in the bottom to let the water out. Now there is a drain at one end, but I drilled more holes in the side of it to let the water out so it doesn't just collect water in there. You don't want, you need to have drainage regardless. So it's an old bathtub. I figured it worked great as a raised bed, so I drilled a bunch of holes in it and I made a raised bed out of it. So it's out there in the garden. But this is my seed store starting. I've actually already got my containers ready. I've got the soil in there. I haven't planted anything, obviously, but I'm getting it ready for when I do want to start my seeds. That'll be later in February, probably by the time I start my seeds. But like I said, there's nothing to do in the winter time, so I got this ready. These are my grow lights. I built this little contraption here to hold all the grow lights so that I can grow seeds, start some things from seeds. There are some things I start directly in the garden, but I do also start from seed on a lot of stuff. The bigger pots over here, I'm trying to start some flowers. So these are, what are these? Sweet William. Looks like a Sweet William. And then there's some chamomile. There's some bergamot. They're actually starting to grow. I actually put the seeds in there, and they actually started to grow already. And they've been surviving the cold weather. We've had some really cold temperatures the last couple weeks, and they're still alive, and they're still growing. I think the fact that it's covered in here, even though it's still got down in the 20s inside this porch, it didn't kill them. So I'm going to let them grow. They were just extra seeds in the pack, and I thought I'll just dump them in there and see what happens. And I forgot to bring them in when it got super cold, and they're still alive. So I'm going to see what happens with those. So stay tuned, and in the future we'll keep up with those and see what happens. All right. Hey, So keep following the channel. Don't forget, subscribe. Send me some comments about things you want to see, or if you have any comments about things I'm showing you, let me know. All right, talk to you later.